Plastic model builders, welcome back to some more model making madness. This is the F-15E Strike Eagle. What you're seeing here is us putting on the metallizer from the previous part and our landing gear and painting the landing gear. That's pretty much what that video consisted of. This one, a little bit more boring, of course. We're putting on all the decals. There's a lot of decals to this model and you're going to be spending a lot of time putting them on. I put a sealer on before I did everything, and after I put the sealer on, you let it dry a little bit. You put on another sealer that shrinks it down a bit and makes it conform to the model. Looks really good. So as you can see, we're working on the front of the plane right here, getting this side taken care of, all its little emblems that they have, working on the tail fins, just basically getting everything that's facing my direction so I'm not flipping the model back and forth all the time. We got our tail numbers there. We're going to put the other numbers on the side, it's squadron, all that good stuff, airbase, whatever all those numbers are. I don't know what they all mean, so you know how that goes. Usually it's probably the Air Force Base or wherever it is that they're stationed at, the numbers on the side. So here we go, putting on the other emblem right here on this tail, and then we'll have one more piece that we can put up on here. It's green, goes right up at the top. You might have to edit and cut this a little bit before you put it on, might be a little bit better. It goes on better that way if you do that, or let it dry, then cut it out. So as you can see, we're now working on the opposite side of the plane, and it would have been better if they made these letters like one whole solid decal so you didn't have to worry about lining them up. But they didn't do that, so it is what it is. Get all this done. As you see, that model tends to rise and lower quite a bit based on its weight. Don't worry, once you have everything on there, it sits flat, so that's cool at least, right? So far as you can see, this model's turning out really, really well. I'm happy with it. I know you will be once you get it as well. So another emblem on the side right there, putting on the pilots' names, because all airplanes always have their pilots' names, even if they're not the ones flying the plane, believe it or not, because they share it. So there we go, we've got that on there. This little piece here goes right there on the landing gear, that door cover. This is in reverse, so you got to flip it over and you'll see those numbers. Make sure you get them right, of course. I would have liked to put like everything in this movie, but we couldn't fit everything in because there's so many decals. So there will be another part and a review after we're done putting on the decals and a little bit of side bits here that you'll see coming up. So we got our little nose steps and putting on right here some of the little other areas that they have. I'm imagining that's for like refueling and things like that. Line it up perfectly and they can refuel the plane, but then again, I don't know. So we got our little question marks. I never know what these things are, but every plane has them. I don't know what they mean. I wish I knew what they mean, but I know they're not really question marks, but they look like question marks, so you may as well call them question marks. Makes sense, right? So here's my favorite thing. No step, no step, no step. Now, there's a lot of them, and I just showed you some of them. So just carefully put these on. You saw I did the front. We're working around the engines. Now we're going to go around the wings. Some of these you'll see might just be for minor placement, and we will adjust them later before everything dries. Just kind of get them all on at the same time. That way, you're dipping your stuff in the water. May as well get all of them all at once and do the best you can, but work slow and fast at the same time. We know how to do that. It's like multitasking. So here we go. We got our rudder right there, the rear rudder. Working on that. Got a couple more that go on here. These were a little hard. Any decals like these that are thin and flimsy, I can't stand them because they always break. I can never get them on right. The paper always twists on me. They move. They break. Ugh, I hate them. And the next model that I will do have some of those as well, and they're longer. It's almost like the SR-71 all over again. So you see more nose steps there. Oh, look at these. Even better. More of them. And these are really, really small. And you saw there's a lot of them. I don't even think they have enough of them for what this model calls for. So you kind of have to adjust them, and you'll see here where I put these all, because I don't think there was enough based on the directions. So just put them on however you see fit. This is my example and how I did mine. If you're a perfectionist, you might be upset if they don't have enough, but if you're like me and you have a low give a darn meter and you just like the model, I think you'll be okay. So here we are, more nose steps going all the way around all these wings. This is so exciting. I'm bored out of my mind actually, but you know, you do what you have to do to make these planes look good, and this was part of it. So I'm excited to say I got them all done, put them on, made it look pretty. You know, we always have to get that in there. Got these little square deals here. You got your star insignias that are always on every Air Force plane. We're putting these on right here. Those are for supposedly for the landing lights that are on the wing tips. One on each side, of course. I just kind of put them on and flipped the other side over. Made sure I had a little decal set on there. That way it gave it some cling. Putting on these little guys right here. And of course, there's so many little decals on there. It just took forever to do all these, as you can see. And you got those things. I don't know what half of these decal symbols mean, and I really wish I did. Maybe if I was in the military, I'd have some sort of clue. But I'm not, so I just get to comment on them and be like, hey, this is the thingy, put it here. So here's another one that goes onto the that rear door, the front door for the landing gear. More stuff, little dots that go on the engine. So here's more fun things. A lot of little decals that go all around right here by the landing gear, the front door. You notice I don't have any landing gear wheels on there yet. It's because I just saved those for dead last. I didn't want to do anything until I was ready to put those on. I figured it'd be easier, less stuff in the way for me to knock on and off. So some more little decals, putting everything all up around the front. Finally working on the top again. Going to get some stuff right here on the side. If you remember when I was doing the very first video or second, once we put the cockpit chairs in, how I mentioned how there were actually decals that go on that? Well, they're not in this section of the video. They're in the last section of the video, and you will see them. They're very small. So hopefully you didn't start putting your plane together until you watched all 6 of these series, including the review, which will have a little bit of the missiles being put on. Figure may as well. Because when I did this, you see I don't have some of the things on there because it was easier to do with those off of the model. At least I thought it was. Maybe you will think differently. Now I'm talking about the sway bars. Sway bars, there's like 12 little sway bars and 6 bigger sway bars. Braces, sway braces I guess you want to call them. Not bars, but the sway braces. You want to make sure those are on there properly. So here we go, the other star on the other side, and here more decals. Just keep putting them on. It's like they never ever stop. They just keep going and going. You got your little pull here, danger symbols. Of course, usually those are red, but since this plane is all in gray, they kind of made everything as black tone as possible on this plane, and it looks really good. So they did a good job when they designed this originally. Here's one that's kind of colored. Imagine that. It's red. Hey. So here's a quick little shot, and you see all those good stuff right there. Got a small little one that goes in there. You're going to have to move that. Here's another small little decal. These go behind the landing gear. You get 2 decals right there, and you see that final placement just shifted over a little bit. And there it is again. Here we go. Some more landing lights and good stuff like that. At least I think they're landing lights, reflectors. I have no clue, honestly. Here we go. You got that little red thing there. It goes over a little hole, so you can cut that out if you want to later on once it dries. Just put some sort of good micro stuff in there. And you know what I mean by micro stuff because they got 2 types of micro stuff. So here we go. We're coming towards the end of putting all these wonderful decals on. And if you've watched this much so far, you got more patience than I do, because I probably would have fast forwarded through my own video. So here it is, the last remaining bits of these decals. I'm so excited to finally be finished with these. So here we go, last decal right there, painting the gun steel. Just have a little bit of paint on the brush, stick it in. These are the sway braces I was talking about. I'm not showing you taking all of them out because there's a lot of them. So I just put those on some tape, sprayed them. Sorry that it's popping up a little bit. There's that steel color. There's the tail hook that's broken. Put that on last, dead last, whatever you do. It doesn't have to go in right away. You just saw me spraying the inside of the engines there. That's also steel. These will go steel. I'm cutting them out because I'm painting stuff steel, so I may as well get those taken care of. And they are painted, by the way. You just didn't see me do it because I forgot to record it. But I am putting on a seal coat right here, and you know, once that seal coat means, that means you can either do a little bit more weathering, depending on what you use. I used enamel on this, but I didn't do any weathering. I think this model looks great. And I did do the panel lines, which made it look really good. So here are the missile rails. You see your fuel tanks and the other missile rails. There's a bunch of, not a bunch of them, but you know, you got your pylons and then your rails. So there's basically 2 rails per pylon. So you got basically 6 to do, and then you got these right here. I will show in the next video as well, painting the sidewinders how they're supposed to go. And this is a little preview right here. We'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see the latest video when it comes out every 2 weeks. Here are those missiles. Comment and like. See ya.